already September already. The heat's dying down as expected. And with that in mind, what was going on today? I guess in terms of heat dying down, the heat isn't dying down between Taiwan and China. I guess according to all this, they officially started shooting at the drones. It says here, Taiwan shoots down drone showing risk of escalation with China. It basically relates to all that story on how they claimed there was all these Chinese drones harassing them. At first they gave warning shots, but now I guess they're serious. It says here, Taiwan downed a civilian drone after weeks of complaints about incursions by unmanned aerial vehicles from China, a sign Taipei is pushing back against Beijing's efforts to encroach on its territory. Taiwanese troops shot the drone down near Kinmen Island around noon Thursday after attempts to repel it failed, according to a statement from garrison on the Taipei-held outpost just off China. That followed incidents on Tuesday and Wednesday in which Taiwan fired warning shots and flares at civilian drones that approached its offshore island. And it seems like they claim here again, it's all part of their tactics. They might not be using, quote, lethal force, but it's one of those, I guess, mind games as well in war. For a lot of people, it says drones are part of China's gray zone tactics and cognitive warfare against Taiwan, said Kuo Yu-jen, director of Institute for National Policy Research in Taipei. The incursions are an attempt to humiliate Taiwan's military. Taiwan's government first responded to it cautiously and only turned tougher when they became more frequent. The People's Liberation Army held unprecedented exercises for several days around Taiwan after Pelosi's visit, including firing ballistic missiles over the island. And they say here with state-owned publications in China, it says the Chinese Communist Party's Global Times newspaper has said the frequent flights of civilian drones from mainland expose the Taiwan Armed Forces' weak defenses. So things are definitely heating up between the two. I was reading some examples of people saying how the situation is kind of like a person initially saying, I'm just gonna swing my arms and so forth around the air, and if you get hit, it's your own fault, like that type of situation. But now I guess they're getting serious. And then there was this piece I read, another story of, I guess, people saying drones are, quote, spying on them. Although this one, they claim it actually went really close to them, which actually made me wonder. This one says, Huntington Beach mom spots drone peering into daughter's room. A woman in Huntington Beach says on Monday she spotted a drone hovering above the balcony in the family's backyard and is worried the drone's pilot was using the camera to watch her adult daughter. I could hear a drone and then I was just walking up and I realized one of a kind swooped down and was maybe like 5 feet from me looking right in, Huntington Beach wife and mother told CBS LA. The woman said her daughter was unaware of the drone and didn't hear it because she was watching television. For her not to know that was just sitting there viewing, which she's in there, I don't want her seen. I don't want anyone that close, the woman said. That's what I was wondering too. 5 feet? That's what she claimed before and the person didn't notice it? I don't know, that seemed a little far-fetched, so to speak. It says the family members said it's not the first time they have seen the drone flying close to their windows and said they've called police and posted a warning on social media platform next door. That's an easy way to peeping Tom, the Huntington Beach woman said. I mean, if they can come right into your window and be looking in, that's a problem. Area residents have also taken reported drone sightings on Nextdoor and shared concerns that criminals may be using them to scope out neighbors, sparking concerns about their rights to privacy. And according to this, there was no videos or anything like that. And it just makes you wonder again, would you think that's exactly what happened? There was a, quote, drone that close, for example, like 5 feet? And then they talk about the legalities of it, which actually made me wonder, does this actually conflict with federal laws, for example, and with these state ones they imply here? It says, well, it's an invasion of privacy, civil trial attorney Eric Trott told CBS LA. The laws are kind of catching up with the technology now, fortunately. So you could have a drone that's half a mile away, videotaping someone that's in their bathroom or bedroom and be in violation of the civil code section. It's also a violation of the penal code. The California drone law regulations spell out that drone pilots are not allowed to, quote, enter the airspace of persons to capture images without consent, nor can they take photos or record videos of persons engaged in personal, private, or familial activities without approval. And I guess the lawyer goes on continuing saying, as I said, it doesn't have to be a trespass if you're looking into an area where people have an expectation of privacy, whether it's with a drone or physically doing it with a binoculars or any other device, it's a violation of the law. So at first it made me think, isn't that basically how it is everywhere? Where it doesn't matter what you use per se, if you're specifically conducting something like, I don't know, voyeurism and all that, then it would be illegal. It doesn't matter what you use. So in that sense, it doesn't make sense in terms of catching up with the law. Technically, it's already there. It doesn't matter what you use. At the same time, in terms of their laws, they're saying it's illegal to fly a drone to do this and that. Ultimately, I don't think they have control of the airspace laws, correct? Overall, I mean, they can control where you land and take off, like in most places, but even with that, it make me wonder, how do you determine if the person's, quote, spying on you or if it's just paranoia? Because I know for a fact, a lot of people, they think it's, quote, spying on you, whereas in reality, they're just capturing, I don't know, scenery or the sunset. Imagine it's just your own, I don't know, neighbor or something like that. You're capturing the scenery and then they assume because they see a drone, they're, oh, it must be looking at me, which doesn't usually turn out to be the case in a lot of situations anyways. And this was kind of an odd article to think about, where I know in California, there was all that news about them wanting to go fully electric with things like cars and so forth, but you have to wonder, are you prepared for everyone to be charging their cars, like in terms of the amount of electricity you have? And this one says, amid heat wave, California asks electric vehicle owners to limit charging. Heading into one of the busiest holiday travel weekends in the United States, and just a week after approving a bold plan to ban the sale of new gasoline cars, California asked electric vehicle owners this week to limit when they plugged in to charge. So apparently they're telling people to not charge or reduce, I guess, their consumption between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Wednesday and Thursday, and warned that more alerts were possible through the Labor Day weekend. And of course, there's some back and forth where people are claiming certain people are misrepresenting what they said. It's not don't charge it at all, it's try to, I guess, avoid it. It says a spokeswoman for the governor, Erin Mellon, said that the request to avoid charging electric vehicles has been misrepresented by critics of California's efforts to curb emissions. We're not saying don't charge them, she said. We're just saying don't charge them between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. Logically speaking, I would assume there is a supply issue per se to request people not to charge during those times, which is pretty significant, like for 5 hours. And then this one made me think too. It says here, nobody charges during those times anyways, said Elaine Borseth, the president of the Electric Vehicle Association, an advocacy group. It costs more. Now there, to me, it sounds like they're not prepared in general. It's very short-sighted, because if you say, nobody charges during that time anyways for the recommendation, again, imagine if everybody started using it. There's so many different people who have different, I guess, schedules. How about people who work, I guess, quote, night shifts or something like that? It'll probably be that way eventually, where everyone's using electric cars, but it makes you wonder here, are they kind of getting ahead of themselves, where you're not fully prepared, where again, if everybody started using it, I don't know, it just doesn't sound very realistic just based on the situation anyways.
What is that?
Huh? What's what?
Is that a camera?
Yeah.
Wait, so is that attractive?
No, I just known them since they were a little duckling.
Oh wow. So I'm surprised they all like came up to you.
Yeah, I've known them since they were like this little.
You knew them?
Yeah, I've seen them grow up in the park, so they recognize me.
Is that how they came up to you?
Yeah.
What? Wow, that's awesome.
Alright, see you guys later.